All right, and we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, talk about all things professional wrestling. So I'm glad to see you guys back here, talk about the things we love the most, which is absolutely professional wrestling. So now we're going to move on to our segment two. First, we talked about our WWE Monday Night Raw review. But before we move into our second segment, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Remember, we get a number of questions from viewers like you that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on air, make sure you hit up the link. Leave, obviously, just leave as much, generously, whatever. I just want to hear you guys part of the show, to be honest. Just hit up the chat, 1,010%. I would love it when audience engages in the show. It's 1,010 times better. So, absolutely love it. Leave a positive note. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. Absolutely. And remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show, and also follow the show. Follow the show and also the GSMC Sports Network. Once again, the link is at the gsmcpodcast.net. So let's talk about some NXT. NXT tonight, it seems like it's going to be, it's going to be a setup episode. For the next 2 weeks, we're going to have the great, well, not this, not starting today. I think starting next week, we're going to have the Great American Bash. It's going to be a 2-week event for WWE NXT. A lot of still stuff, a lot of title matches that still have to kind of be surfaced. Some air obviously needs to be cleared up. Interesting to find out what happens with Obafemi and his North American Championship. Wondering if there's maybe an opponent that he's going to fight at Bash at the Beach. A couple of, names that come to mind. Obviously, you want to, maybe some Joe Hendry action would be pretty cool. Maybe Moose comes out after losing his TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Maybe he comes absolutely pissed off and dethrones, Obafemi. Trick Williams is looking for a purpose. He's pretty adamant on getting his NXT World Championship back. But Ethan Page right now, he has the feud with Thor Mensa, and I think who's that other guy? The guy he fought. Then he backed down. He wanted to fight Dante Chen, and he went cleanly. He by all means, Ethan Page has represented the NXT brand pretty well, so I can't really be too mad at the at the concept. But I do miss that Trick Williams entrance and stuff like that. And Javon Evans still throwing his hat in the ring to compete for the NXT World Championship because he claims that he was never the reason why they lost the championship. Although Ethan Page said he kind of fell into it at NXT. At NXT Heatwave, which he kind of did. You can't really blame the young OG Javon Evans because the trick shot and then another trick shot, and he went down Ethan Page, lands in the right place at the right time. Sean Spears surprisingly stopped Trick Williams from getting the breakup in the match, which was when I saw it, I was like, dude, what are you doing? You're kind of hurting your own chances there. So Sean Spears still, maybe he might know, but he's kind of, I don't know. I feel like he's going to be the next one to kind of ultimately, push over, not Josh Briggs, Brooks Jensen to the edge to the point where he becomes, a little bit diabolical, a little bit more of a shell of himself. Comes out, Sean Spears helps the souls that are, deprived and that are, downtrodden and that are weak. And Sean Spears, provides that kind of, that mentality of, eat or be eaten kind of thing. So I don't know. I'm excited to find out who Obafemi's opponent's going to be. Kaylani Jordan, the inaugural WWE NXT Women's North American Champion. Still doesn't have a match, but matches lingering around the corner for her. She has is it Amy Chu, Wendy Chu, and then you also have Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley was eyeing her championship as soon as Kehlani Jordan came by. Then she had the doll, pulled the head off, and I was like, okay, great, here we go. So Tatum Paxley. She's a great competitor. 1,010%. She puts on some good matches. You kind of see her, you've seen her try, fight Lyra Valkyria. You've seen her go to TNA for a little bit, challenge Jordan Grace. And so did Izzy Dame challenge Jordan Grace as well, and also Roxanne Perez. But Kaylani Jordan, she still needs to, I feel like she still kind of needs to represent the title and kind of make that title more prestigious based on her, her wins. She needs more. She needs impressive wins. She did beat Sol Ruka, then she did win that massive ladder match. Like I said, I could be being a little picky here, but I want to see her beat like a main star. Like it'd be so cool to kind of see her go against Lola Vice or Jada Parker for that matter. So would be interesting to kind of find out who she's going to fight next. I have anticipation. I have anticipated thoughts, thinking that it's going to be Tatum Paxley. So yeah. Next, we mentioned him before, Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry came so close. He pinned the TNA World Heavyweight Champion Moose, getting him eliminated, kind of giving fans that hope that, oh my God, there's going to be a new TNA World Champion crown tonight. Which, Joe Hendry, he was there. He was basically there. He almost did it. Obviously, the match was won by Nick Nemeth. Nick Nemeth's name is still being passed around, talking about him being on NXT. But I think he said in an interview that if he ever goes back to WWE, he doesn't really want to be kind of, kind of thrown around a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not really that jobber. He's not really that person you could put on dark shows because he's one hell of a performer. 1010%. Definitely think another talented superstar that was wasted by WWE creative under the Vince McMahon era. Like, that's no secret. That's no, that's not, wrong to say. It's the absolute truth. And Nick Nemeth, he deserves to be the face of TNA right now. So interesting to find out what NXT has in store for Joe Hendry, because Joe Hendry says he wants to remain on NXT, says he likes it, and he says he wants to stick around for a little while. Obviously, he was kind of tormenting Gallus in the backstage last Tuesday on NXT. Next, we had the NXT Tag Team Champions, Axiom and Frazier. There's been a lot of talk going around that that a historic WWE Tag Team wants to come back and compete for NXT Tag Titles. It's the Hardy Boys. It's the Hardy Boys. It's the Broken Matt Hardy. Also, brother Nero, Jeff. Um, I think it would ultimately be a good match, but I don't want them to win. To be honest, like I feel like they've had their shot right now in TNA. I feel like I feel like they're kind of right where they need to be at right now. Maybe if I've bet against Nathan Frazier and Axiom the moment they won the titles. Every single match they fought, I was like, all right, this is it. All right, now this is it. Oh, this is when they're gonna drop the titles. Oh, you see a little wedge. You see a little controversy being brought up by Nathan Frazier and Axiom about Nathan Frazier wanted to compete for the Heritage Cup Championship and also not taking things seriously. So I was like, all right, this is gonna happen. But then they got together. They were able to defeat the Good Brothers and Chase U back to back. Of course, on Battleground, and then they defeated Chase U on NXT Heatwave. But they're a worthy tag team. I would honestly have a kind of a distasteful you know you know taste in my mouth if the Hardy Boys come to WWE NXT and just take over the tag team division. To be honest, I wouldn't really like it, but of course, then they would kind of have two more individuals that are definitely could be singles wrestlers. Definitely think maybe that's the only reason why they would do it. But right now, I'm kind of leaning more toward letting Axiom and Nathan Frazier keep the NXT tag team titles. And then tonight we have a couple of matches announced. We have Ren Sinclair taking on Carly Bright. Sinclair watched the No Quarter Catch crew dump, presumably, Damian Kemp, in the trunk of a car. She approached Charlie Dempsey and she's like, I want to be part of this crew. If you don't let me be part of this crew, I'm gonna tell. I'm gonna blackmail my way into this. And she said, I'm gonna tell your dad. Classic, WWE thing. She's gonna tell her dad gonna tell his dad William Regal. Charlie Dempsey and the No Quarter Catch crew recently lost at TNA Slammiversary against the new and improved reunited Rascals. So the No Quarter Catch crew, I feel like their crew, I feel like is kind of hanging on by a thread, so they still need to keep this storyline together. I see Sinclair find her way into their group, and definitely 1010%. I think she finds a way to defeat Carly Bright tonight and finds a way into No Quarter Catch crew. All right, next we have Lexis King against Eddy Thorpe. Last week on NXT, you saw Lexis King have a hellacious match. It was really sorry, excuse me. It was very, very good. It was amazing. Definitely put up a fight against the Don. Yeah, a couple of close calls, but no one's been able to defeat Tony D'Angelo for that Heritage Cup championship. which is, not really a surprise. Tony D'Angelo, I feel like, is more of a, kind of like a heavyweight. You know what I mean? It would be kind of interesting to see him fight Obafemi. I think that'd be pretty badass. But yeah, only time will tell. So you have Lexis King taking on the revamped Eddy Thorpe, trying to get his career back on track. He's a great superstar, definitely electric, definitely knows what he's doing inside the ropes, and it would be interesting to kind of find out NXT's or Shawn Michaels' plans for Eddy Thorpe. Just a little side note, happy birthday to Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid. Shawn Michaels was, yesterday was his birthday, July 22nd. So happy birthday to one of the best WWE superstars. Honestly, he's on my Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. So, obviously, hit me up in the chat telling me if he's on your Mount Rushmore. If not, give me your four, best wrestlers. It'd be awesome to kind of, discuss some stuff about that. Now we have Oro Mensah taking on Ashante Adonis. You saw Adonis flirting with Miss Jackson of Metaphor. When is Noam Dar coming back? He's been gone for quite a long time. Ever since Ethan Page made his debut on NXT, basically, is, how long he's been gone. So, like, about a month and a half, kind of crazy, especially when he was he was great on the mic. You can always, you can always count on him to come out and just do some just some heel news, just the way he comes out, he struts out, with acting like his stuff doesn't stink. But he was great. He was great. So I can't wait to find out when the Supernova comes back to NXT. Definitely waiting on pins and needles for that. And lastly, we have a no disqualification match between the two former tag team partners. We got Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen in a no disqualification match. This is huge because Brooke Jensen, the moment he came back and was given a second chance by Ava, he's done nothing but attack WWE superstars like Javon Evans and stuff like that. Mostly Javon Evans, to be honest. And Josh Briggs put his neck out on the line for Brooks Jensen, but in a no disqualification match, this is going to be pretty darn good. I can't wait to find out what happens tonight. Wondering if it's gonna get really really no DQ, like really like kind of hardcore and stuff like that. Would be shocked if it didn't if it didn't go any other way. Like I said, Sean Spears lingering in the back, gonna probably find a way to insert himself into this match and help Brooks Jensen. And now you're gonna have this Brooks Jensen and Sean Spears alliance that's gonna run havoc all over WWE NXT. And finally, we got one more thing. We got Thea Hail sitting down in an interview. Damn near broke Roxanne Perez's arm last week on NXT. So we're gonna get to the bottom of that. Should be pretty awesome. Thea Hail is total firecracker, she's ready to pop at any time. She has all this charisma, all this energy. She could pull an upset. She can very much pull an upset at Great American Bash. But it's hard to count out the prodigy. Roxanne Perez has been one of the most impressive champions in the professional wrestling women's industry. So, well, even in the men's, like she's been damn near, two-time NXT Women's Champion. So, yeah, good for her. All right, guys, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our third segment. We're going to talk about the Hurt Business, the future, Bobby Lashley, and Montanious Porter. Obviously, stick around. We're going to talk about some Hurt Business, and yeah, can't wait to see y'all in a second.